Hello, today I'm going to talk about Zimbabwe and its culture. And there's a frog. So, there are many points of interest in Zimbabwe, and I went to some of them. One of them is Nyanga National Park, which is a national park in Zimbabwe, obviously. And this park, you may ask, what's so special about this? Well, it lies in the north of Zimbabwe's eastern highlands. It's one of the first national parks to be declared in the country. It contains the highest land in Zimbabwe, with green hills and perennial rivers. Uh, some most of its terrain consists of flatlands with occasional wood trees. Appearing. Great Zimbabwe. What's so great about Zimbabwe, you may ask? Well, it's a monument. It's not a term. Uh, it's not an opinion. It's a thing. Well, it's a city in the southeastern hills of Zimbabwe near Lake Mutirkivi. I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. Um, it is thought to have been the capital of a great kingdom, although which kingdom is not certain. But now it's a tourist attraction. You can look at the beautiful stone buildings and all, which is very nice actually. I was there, and well, all I can say is it was beautiful. But but something that was even more beautiful was the Victoria Falls. Now the Victoria Falls are kind of unique, obviously. Uh, the Victoria Falls is about 1.7 kilometers wide, which is a lot. It's very wide. You can barely see the whole thing when you're standing there. It's about 9,100 cubic meters a second flow through this waterfall during flood periods. Which that's a lot of water. The highest drop is 105 meters, which make this waterfall pretty tall. High, I don't know what you call it. So I went to Zimbabwe and watched these things, but I also ate some food. One of these foods are sadze. Sadze is a kind of ball-shaped bread prepared with corn flour. It can be cooked with peanut butter. It's accompanied by beef stew and kovo. Kovo is a type of vegetable and it's cooked with onion, garlic, and peanut butter. I didn't like this one that much. I'm sorry. What am I supposed to do? Mopane worms. These worms are considered a delicacy in Zimbabwe. The mopane worms are found in living mopane trees. They can be eaten, fried, stewed, and crispy. Um, these worms tasted better than I thought they would. Um, I can't really tell you how I got a hold of them, but just know it's legal at least. Well, the culture of Zimbabwe. Wraparound dresses are, well, the tribes in Zimbabwe that live in the outskirts. They live in the savannas and not in the big cities, basically. They have these wraparound dresses. I never went there actually, but I heard a tourist guide talk about it, so I wanted to include this in this presentation. And below you can see a traditional hut, which we actually looked at, but there were no inhabitants. They were probably out, well, doing what they do. I wasn't really told. Uh, then we have these sculptures, Ukama sculptures, they're called. These sculptures are, well, they are kind of weird to a person from Sweden, uh, obviously, since they look kind of weird. This culture right here looks like four people holding hands, which I wasn't really told meaning behind these cultures, but I can see why people like them. These are traditional Zimbabwe uh, sculptures, obviously, and I think at least that these represent kind of a united kind of, you know, what should I call it? Not united, but it represents how Zimbabwe is a very friendly country. Everyone works together. I think that's what it represents. At least that's what I feel. It doesn't have to do with Zimbabwe. It can just be putting this in your home makes it obvious that we welcome everyone. That's what I feel at least. And the inhabitants were very, very friendly. As you can see here, I took a picture with some kids. That's me, uh, as you can see here. And here are the kids, very nice. His name was Rickard. His name was Ugumbung. His mother was from Russia, so she named him pretty weird name, but it's okay. It's okay. I stayed at the Grace Inn when I was in Zimbabwe during my time. And the pros with this hotel was, or my room, was it was a nice bed, nice view as you can see down here in the left corner, and that's about it. Now the cons. Toilets were smeared with feces. I'm sorry, but who did this? They must have missed the cleaning on this in my toilet. Only worms on the breakfast buffet. I don't know why these mopane worms were so popular. For some reason they are. They taste okay, but when you eat them 4 days in a row, they kind of get pretty. It gets pretty tiresome. Horrible customer service. There were no people there except the receptionist, and she couldn't help me because she was in the reception when I asked about the toilet. As you can see, I took a picture here of the toilet. There was kind of nowhere to even sit. Luckily, I'm a man, so I can stand and pee, but doing the number two is pretty hard. So I kind of went to the bushes outside of the hotel. Caught at least 4 SDs from the bathing towels. I had a like cut on my arm, and I used the bathing towel to clean that. And when I came home, I had catched 4 STDs that were unknown prior to me going to check what was wrong with me. So, but I'd say it was worth it. It was a pretty nice hotel. Um, if you uh, if you just don't care about the cons. It's kind of worth it. The view, it's worth it for the view in the bed. You can sleep. So, the language of Zimbabwe. Now we'll tell you a little bit about its history. So, English is spoken by the majority of the white population in Zimbabwe, while most black people speak English as their second language. And why is this? Well, since one of the reasons for this is because the country borders with South Africa, and there was a lot of immigration from South Africa during the 20th century. Since South Africa was a British colony until 1961, where it was officially not a British colony no more, a lot of South Africans carried over the language when moving. So Zimbabwe English is very similar to South African English because of the origins, but there are some things that differ. Uh, But why the white population speaks more English is because of cultural and class differences. Historically, in every country, blacks have been treated worse. And when then you have a colony from Britain, an English-speaking country, with white people, there's usually the white people who gets the best conditions and everything. So they learn English. They learn when you're supported, if you want to call it that, by the country. You obviously learn the language, and the people who live on the outskirts who have it worse usually use their own. But since English is a national language in that sense, uh, they learn it too, so they can communicate with most people, whites in the country. And yeah, so there's a bit of history for you. So, thank you for listening to my presentation. Hopefully, it wasn't too bad. I'm kind of tired right now, which is why I sluther a lot. I'm sorry for that, but I wasn't really up for doing it tomorrow. So, Here are my sources. The Wikipedia for Zimbabwe. There was a lot of about the Victoria Falls. You can find that on the Wikipedia. Click on the Victoria Falls, and then you get redirected to the article about that. So, but I will put the main Wikipedia article here, and then the Exotica article. The second one is for how I found out about the food. So thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you have a great day.